sport.
Well, we don't have any Flames game to react to, game to preview. You've already ripped through the quotes from exit meetings today at the Dome. That's what's going on there. We got a lot of NHL news, though, boys. The bracket is almost fully done. Remember, we had one series set before yesterday's action, and I guess let's roll through what was supposed to be the last night in the NHL. And we'll start by saying goodbye to maybe the greatest captain in Chicago Blackhawks history, Jonathan Taves. Here he was last night, getting misty. I think this is in warm-up even before the game started. Oh, no, this would be the post-game chat. But, yeah, it was all Taves all night.
They had him mic'd up for this, too.
City's his heart. Thanks so much. I love you. And they announced that, yes, they will not be bringing back Jonathan Taves next season.
I don't think he wants to play.
We'll
there sure seems to be that sentiment. Hey,
well, and if you're feeling the way he's felt the last 2 years, I get it.
How many cups has he won? What's he
3.
going to prove? And he's going to go kick the piss out of his body for another year when it's already failing. And
yeah,
we'll take 6 months off, a year, and move into management.
I was going to say, what do you want to do? You want to scout? You want to coach? You want to be a GM?
Do you want to be on the TNT panel?
I'll tell you what, though, it's weird to think of the Blackhawks without that guy.
And Kane, yeah. Kane. It's like,
I got goosebumps for him.
You just look at that 19 Taves, the C, the jersey is so iconic.
Take it off his back and
right to the rafters.
Start lifting it up.
Well, and the other thing you think about is, I mean, the Blackhawks have become very, people are charged with the way about how they feel about the organization because of the heinous things that happened there, a decade ago. But if you did get a Bedard there, wouldn't that just be such a natural passing of the torch? Those two superstars leave as the next wave comes in. And I mean, if you're a Hawks fan, of course you want that. And if you're not a Hawks fan, of course you don't. But for the state of the NHL and their well-being, It is great when the Hawks are good. It is great when the Hawks have superstars. That is a massive building.
You don't see that often. A lot of times there's bad blood. Maybe you get traded.
Yeah.
For him, because I watched that last night. I watched it again this morning. He looks to be very happy and good with all of it. And probably part of it is he knows his body can't do it anymore. He's probably had 2 years to come to terms with the fact that I can't play at that level. That is a cool moment.
Yeah.
Not many.
Yeah, you don't get that very often.
Not many all-timers get to take that lap.
That's true.
And say goodbye to the fans.
How did it end with Gio? Because we know they didn't trade him. They lost him expansion. Was there fans there or not? I don't even remember.
I don't think there was.
So.
Let's go to Craig Anderson. He did say after the game, this was it. And how did it end? Well, it was Craig Anderson getting a win for the Sabres. What a season they've had. That's your OT winner.
Against his old squad.
Yeah, and you'll see that coming up as Anderson. It's Middlestad, I believe. No, whoever scores the winner.
It is Middlestad.
He kind of turns to look, and he's like, oh, no, we're going to Craig. We're not celebrating the goal. We all go get Anderson, the old man. Cool. And you'll love this, right? You noted it was against his old team, Ottawa. Wait till and they love this. How good is this? You talk about culture in the room here, and we don't know everything. You could tell the Sabres crew has had the fucking time of their lives this season.
Yeah, they did.
And they were so close. They'd only been eliminated with what? Game 81 got them? That's buckle up next year.
All those expectations now, though, right?
That's true.
They were able to fly under the radar, be young and dumb and full of vigor.
It doesn't rhyme. Craig Anderson, by the way, if you need him, just turning 42 next month. That's an L for those of us that have comfort in people being older than us still in this league. Losing Craig, oh boy.
And is it worse that he was a goalie? I mean, you got to be
better or worse.
Really
I don't know.
Athletic. You're not striding
You know
around.
What is maybe impressive for me is that when you think of a guy like Chara, you're like Hall of Famer, amazing. You think of Chelios, Hall of Famer, played forever, amazing. Anderson had some years that were great, but he was kind of like that middle of the pack guy a lot of his career. It wasn't like he was this star that just hung on forever.
Yeah,
he kept grinding as a middle of the pack guy.
Yeah.
And there it is. The Senators come out and give him some love as well. And Alex, I'm sure, just shedding tears at his home in Ottawa watching this. 435 games played, over 200 wins. Career 914. That's pretty damn tidy. 28 clean sheets. All right.
Former Flame.
Wash your own damn sheets. Was he drafted by them?
He was.
Oh, my God. Let's move. While some say goodbye, others say hello. Say hello to the third member of the Hughes family, Rhett. Luke recorded his first NHL point last night. Now, the other guys are little pukes, and they're great skaters. Luke, a big boy. First NHL goal last night for the Devils. I think he's like 6'2 or 6'3 D-man. Quinn, obviously, on the slighter side in Vancouver, and Jack, not confused with a giant. Luka, big boy, and plays D.
See the goal?
I don't have the goal, but
Did you?
please walk us through it.
As a rat comes in, skates around the D. He's going to cut to the net. Defenseman cuts him off behind the net, wrap around.
Oh,
goal.
yeah.
Skill.
Hughes boys are good. Someone should collect the Hugheses. What do you need to get Quinn Hughes out of Vancouver? We'll keep moving on. Calgary boy. We talk about quiet 40-goal seasons, 30-goal seasons. Brayden Point, 50. No sweat. 50 last
Good
night.
for you, Brayden.
Holy
Jeez.
shit. And like, I don't know, like if you're a Calgary kid, is there someone better to look up to than Brayden Point? Like everyone that's ever worked with him, been around him, raves about the human, no ego.
Nope.
It's awesome.
He's
Good
top
role
of the
model.
list.
Repping the city. You'll like this retro. Now, this happened all year to the Flames, Dean. You a player, you're like, huh, never seen this name before. And then hours later, I should have bet that guy would score his first goal against the Flames. I believe one of them was, who's this Parsonen centering the top line for Nashville this year? And it wasn't his first goal. He got off to a great start. But
yeah, I wear that one because I was going to, who the fuck is Juuso Parsonen?
And then I was like, I think he was a high pick for them. I know, like a 7th rounder. Okay, well, here's Parsonen last night. Watch the magic from the rookie.
Little zip, little
Whoop.
zing.
Between the legs, top cheese. And this is even the best.
Watch the shrug. Whatever.
That's what I do.
Play it again.
No big deal.
The goal is spectacular. The celly's even better.
There,
And this is
legs.
Nashville playing out the stretch, boys, and they are loving it in Tennessee. No Ekholm,
So good.
no Johansson, no Jeannot,
Have
no
fun,
Yossi,
kids. Sports is fun.
no Duchesne, and just, the kids are still going to try our asses off.
That was almost like that Merrick Malik in the shootout.
Yeah. That's what I mean, what else was I supposed
What
to
were
do?
you waiting for?
Yeah. Someone need to find about time they called my number. Finally, he did it again, boys. An 82-game season for Phil Kessel.
The thrill.
You didn't think he was going to deal last summer. Now, you also said you wondered if Phil wanted to play again, but he's done it again. This is unbelievable. And not for a bad team, a division-winning team. Holy shit. 11 years he's played all 82. 11 seasons.
And the Flames were in
They
that
were in
mix,
the
right
mix,
near the end when
yes.
Kessel was picking teams.
They were just a fill away.
They were
I'm sure he
only
would have
fill
loved to play for Daryl. Similar minds.
away. I can shoot.
He wouldn't have been rattled by Daryl.
No,
He's
water off a duck's back with that cat.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the last night of full slate of games. We have 2 that had to be postponed, got moved to tonight. There are some ramifications for those. We'll get to those. But today, Pittsburgh cleans house. Brian Burke, gone. Ron Hextall, gone. Assistant GM Chris Pryor, gone. This was a tough year for the Penguins. We knew their stars were aging and old and got extended last summer, but it was more than that. They didn't get the goaltending. They made some questionable deadline moves, and they also didn't move their first rounder. Which, are y'all in or y'all out here? Like, are you? Maybe that's the rational play, but just never felt like Hextall with an old.
That's a
aging,
tough spot.
It is a really tough spot.
It's a tough spot. What do you do with that group, right?
Well, you're
can't-
capped out, and you're old, but
You're old.
You're
You got
superstars.
Superstars. You
can't
got to
trade 'em.
try and win, but you probably see you're not really that close to winning, right? Like the right move would be, hey, you guys want to go help someone else?
The Malkin to LA rumor could finally be true after 15 years. Anaheim parting ways with Dallas Aikens, the former Leafs assistant, Edmonton head coach, San Diego Gulls head coach, then moved up in that Anaheim organization.
And Rhett Warner, teammate.
That's right.
Teammate, yeah.
A road biker. Loves
Fit-
biking.
Rented Mike Keenan's place,
Yeah.
Pompano Beach.
He was not fired. It was the deal rolls off the books this year, and he's not coming back. And Pat Verbeek, a new GM, will get to pick his first head coach.
Not surprising.
And Pat Verbeek and his team also in the driver's seat for Connor Bedard as they finished last in the NHL. Hawks had a really bad year. They were even bad at being bad. They finished 31st.
13 regulation wins.
Oh, 13 regulation wins. Minus 129. I like this from Dimitri. They certainly understood the assignment.
My goodness. 13 regulation wins in 82 games.
Hoof.
It's
It's a hoof. And I believe they were 1-1-1 against the Flames.
I was going to say, I know there's one of them was against the Flames.
Fuck.
So.
I know that was an extra time.
Could have been 12.
Oh, that was one, right? Okay, we'll keep moving. Here are your matchups in the East. They're finally set. This was midway through the night last night in the NHL. The East finals came in, and we have our bracket on that half figured out. Gotta like it. Bruins against Panthers, Atlantic Division foes. Panthers coming in hot. Bruins haven't not been hot this year. They've been an absolute wagon. Highest point total and win total in NHL history. That could be a fun series. Not a lot of wild cards you'd love, but Florida was one of those teams we thought could have won that division and started looking like the team they should have been all year coming down the stretch. Leafs, Tampa, we've known about forever. In the Metro, Canes against Islanders. That's interesting. Two defensively built, geared, and focused clubs. And then Devils, Rangers. It's the Hudson River rivalry, one of the better ones in the NHL when it's great, Rhett. I love the proposition of two greater New York teams.
That would be fun to attend.
Fans traveling back and forth. There'll be some brouhahas and
MSG
scraps in the third deck. Love it.
God.
Yeah. As for the West, still things to sort out. There are two series set. It's all the Pacific Division stuff. A win last night from Vegas got them top spot. They held off the charging and surging Oilers, who won 9 straight to close the season. It will be Edmonton, LA, as the 2-3 matchup in the Pacific. It's a rematch from last year's 7-game series. And I would sell you, Rhett, that both teams have improved since last year. The Kings added Kempe. They've changed their goaltending mix. And the Oilers have gone from blame your defenseman when you let one in from 135 feet, Mike Smith, to rookie backup turned savior, Stuart Skinner. And it's a career year for basically all their forwards, and McDavid is a god. This could be fun.
Kings had that 12-game point streak going, and then they played Edmonton, and I think they lost. But I remember watching that. Yeah. It was one hell of a game.
They split the season series 2 wins each. LA won twice in the fall. Oilers won twice in the spring, and they were low-scoring affairs in the spring. That was impressing me from an Edmonton perspective. Yeah, they can win 7-6, but they won 2-1 and 2-0, I believe, over the Kings in the last month of the season. The other matchup we know, Vegas winning the division, has them against a wild card. They'll get Winnipeg. Vegas, impressive they win the division. No Stone. Their third and fourth string goalies, probably the guys they use the most all year. And Hellebuck's at the other end, so you can't say Winnipeg doesn't have a chance. And they actually showed a little more moxie in the last week of the season. Huh.
I would like to think Winnipeg's a better team than where they finished off.
And you know what? Midway through the year, they're leading that division. I think there's some merit to what you said there for sure. Bad news for the Avs. They can wrap up top seed in the Central Division tonight. They play Nashville, but what they won't be able to do is have Gabriel Landeskog on their roster for the postseason. He was supposed to be back around Christmas, and then it just kept later and later and later, and then people stopped talking about it, and I guess we shouldn't be surprised that his lingering issue is still lingering and is an issue. So much so he won't play.
What kind of effing injury you got to have in today's world that you're out for a whole year?
Is it, I believe, what, knee surgery? We're talking something like that.
I mean, if you're out for a year because of knee surgery, like,
not ideal.
Are you done forever because of knee surgery? Because that feels like, okay, we don't want to rush it, sure, but a year?
Yeah. And he did play a lot last spring, as you see there. 20 games in the postseason last year, over a point per game, a monster piece of that cup run last year. That's a big hole for the Avs all year, but heading into the postseason now. Finally, here's what they need to do tonight to get first. Avalanche can clinch the Central Division title and a first-round matchup with Seattle if they beat the Predators in any fashion. Dallas will take over top spot in the Central if they lose. Seattle's waiting, or you've got Winnipeg if you're the 2 seed.
I thought you said Winnipeg was playing Vegas.
Sorry, did I say Minnesota? Minnesota's the 3 seed. Seattle's the wild card. My apologies. And, it takes, you ever been to parts of the world where news just gets there a little bit slower? Like time zones are
Saskatoon?
Yeah, maybe when, music in Manitoba growing up, you're like, that record came out. It takes a few months before it gets into rotation.
Albert.
Yeah. And it's harder with the internet these days, but I think news just trickling over to Australia that the NHL is going to play some games there next season. And I mean, we do have an Australian correspondent. So sound up. Let's head over to our pal, Aussie Brad, who was into it in the man cave last night.
Boom, boom. Pinder. Retro. You boys fucking best believe. We've come up with the goods down here in Melbourne, Victoria. we've fucking got a game. Now, you need to fucking book in, you fucking three cunts. You're coming downtown, you're coming to Victoria, you're coming to Melbourne, Narra East, Man Cave, Aussie Brad, fucking straight up on September next year. I'm cooked 2024. Fucking bang, boys. Get on it. Keep punching, boomer.
That came in this morning, which would have been the wee hours, and the goose was getting cooked thoroughly.
I think we have to maybe.
We've got a place to
explore
stay.
this option.
Somewhere in all that Australian language, he did invite us to the state of Victoria, to Melbourne, and to the man cave just outside of Melbourne, where he filmed that video, clearly under the influence of just excitement that the NHL is coming to Australia, whether that's 23 or 24. I'm bad with calendars. Yeah.
Any excuse to go to Melbourne's good, but this one looks deadly.
Yeah, we're running out of excuses not to go.
And what is it? Trigger, the dog running around
That's
there?
right.
You got to see Trigger, too.
See Trigger in the man cave.
Trig, yeah.
Boy, remember when we started doing this and when the F-bombs would kind of make you cringe a little bit? Now it's just like, yeah, let her.
See how soft those C's have gotten?
That's just...
You don't even notice. It just rolls off
it.
the tongue with that accent.
Yeah.
Don't try that here. You're in Australia, let them rip. Finally, Major League Baseball made some good rule changes. How many times the leagues try to tweak stuff and you're like, this isn't working. This was idiotic. This was a waste of our time. Well, it's working in baseball. Pace of play, they've shaved off half an hour. Batting average is up. Stolen bases up. Runs up. So it's a shorter, more exciting game. I don't know that this commissioner's done a lot that deserves kudos. This is one thing. Rule changes are working, boys.
I like it.
Yep.
It's been good. They should try it in golf.
And, oh my God. Ooh. Nice to see good people get rewarded, right? Like we always say, better people than us. Kid Sport's going to co-host an event with us tonight. We'll be chatting with Kevin soon. Like better people than us, Dean. Mm-hmm. And sometimes good people do get rewarded in the end for holding out. Noted wonderful human Dan Snyder bought the Washington Redskins at the time, and now the football club, and then the Commanders. $800 million in '99. 24 years later. That's not English. $6 billion. So it's about 8 times what he paid 25 years. That's
These are tough lessons to learn.
Yeah. I mean,
because he was a deplorable human. His practices were just the scorn of everybody in the NFL.
He's a bit of a Richard, a wealthy Richard.
Take your billions and go think about what you've done.
All 6 of them.
Go get on your yacht. Fly your helicopter to your yacht and disappear for 6 months.
Yeah, land that helicopter on your yacht, and you go traipse around the Mediterranean for 3 months and think about what you've done. Okay?
Come back.
Scandally clad models on the bow. You learn your lesson.
We expect to hear what you've learned.
That's right.
Mr. Man.
And finally, Rhett kind of comes and goes. You know, like he's here, he's there. He likes this team. He doesn't like that team. Oh, I do it this way. I do it that way. I have a dog. I don't have a dog. He's back into dogs. And we've got this video of him training his new dogs. I think this is Buffalo from earlier, but isn't this amazing? Look at this. It's all part of a musical routine, and he's a dog guy again. Like skipping with dogs. Let her rip again. That's good stuff.
That's really good.
How did you get them to do that, Rhett? That was wow.
You got to spend time with your animals.
I'm looking. That doesn't look like Calgary skyline. That's got to be Buffalo.
It's got to be Buffalo. Yeah, with especially the power lines overhead.
Yes,
is that what we're looking at?
sure.
Yeah. Maybe that's the ringing in your ears.
That's Pinder report.
Yeah, there you go.
Good to he'll be taking the dog back.
Yeah.
You know, if he comes back. We don't know when that's happening.
Where'd you get that long of a jump rope?
You got long arms, long rope.
Village Honda presents the Pinder Report, Northwest Auto Mall, villagehonda.com online. Turn your vehicle into cash today during the $1 Million Buy-In event. They'll buy yours even if you don't buy theirs. Sellers receive a tropical cruise for 2 exclusively at Village Honda, your dealership for life.
I was going to not laugh, and then I looked at Jack in the corner trying not to die.